you wiggle sticklers? It's freaking hot. I'm melting. Get it? Wizard of Oz reference. Floyd Rose sucks. Let me say that again. Floyd Rose sucks. Not the man because he was brilliant in inventing a really cool thing, and not really the company or his product, but the whole concept is just freaking dumb. We lock the strings up here so we can wiggle stick them here, but then we do everything so they don't detune, but then we got the tiny little things to make it in tune again so that we can untune it, and then the frickin' stick doesn't really grip, and then around the stupid stick we have a screw, and then it's either way too tight and we can't grab it up, or it's not tight enough, and then it flippers around, and then Ibanez does something with plastic rings, and that's cool. But then Fender has a bendy thing where it really just doesn't. You have play in it, but then why don't you just get Kugelschreiber, a ballpoint pen, and get the spring out and stuff that in there, and then it doesn't do that anymore. Why fuck don't you do that, Fender, when you sent me the guitar? Why do I have to fix the stupid ass problem that you made? Okay, I'm fine, I'm good. It's okay. Calm down. The bottom line is, Floyd Rose sucks. Now, there's a guy up there with a son who made a version that sucks less. It still sucks pretty hard, but it sucks less. And if you want the wiggly and the woo and dive bombiness, there are compromises. So it's not about doing something that makes you insanely happy as a guitar player. It's about reducing the suckiness. And I think Theodore, that's his name, who, by the way, is paying me for this video and is sitting up there and will have to listen to me bitch about his system for a bit, but also say good things about his system. So there's going to be, as we call it in the business, pros and cons. Where was I? He's reducing the suckiness. So you get, you've already seen the whole beginning with a mind-blowing performance on the guitar by me. Yeah, I know, I played horribly, but part of it was the point of wiggling like crazy and showing you that it stays in tune. So it comes in this thing. It's not in here because it's over there. And it gives you everything to retrofit a guitar with the Tremoline. It's called the FT, I want to say 36. But what do I know? That's a stupid number anyway. The Tremoline Wiggly, okay? The Wiggly one, that's what we call it. I don't think they have 36 of them. Why is it even called 36? Call it Wiggle 1, bam, done. Come to me for product names. And you know what you do when you have a second one? Wiggle 2. I'm here all day. So where was I? It comes with everything to retrofit your Floyd. I'm looking at it, you can't see it. Should I show you? There's an actual clamp for the springs in the back. I'm jumping ahead here, am I? Let's assume you're dumb as fuck. Okay? Let's assume you don't know how a Floyd works. Some of you might not. I actually really barely know. So let's go through it. Let's assume this is a Floyd. So you've got a piece here that you hang springs on, okay? And that is the thing I was just going to show you is much better because it's stainless freaking steel with a Tremoline. But usually that's a little piece of bent garbage. And you put springs on it. Theodore likes 2. I think it should be 3, but his guitar, his rules. And these springs connect to what we call the trem block. And they're usually hanging in holes here. Some of them have this bar to make sure they don't come out, which is nice. And this is a big piece of steel that goes to the other side, where there's also springs on it. Kind of, we call them strings. So these things pull in this direction, whereas these pull in this direction. And it's balanced on 2 poles. That is not 2 Polish people. That is 2 poles. Different thing, not racist. It's been a long day. So we've got these blades here, and on these blades, on these two blade posts, it literally balances. It's not easy to film. Okay? And obviously, making sure the string tension is exactly equal and opposite to the spring tension, say that 5 times, is extremely difficult. And then these things wiggle around, and then you bend this. And when you bend here, you actually have more tension on this side than on the back side. What happens? It does this. It would be nice if it didn't. There are things called a trem block and the trem stop and all that stuff. But you know what? It does. And that's part of the system. If you wanted to go up and down, if you only wanted to go down, you could have a trem stop. And then this wouldn't do this. So far, so good. To make sure that this distance is perfect and that when you're loosening the strings, they don't unravel up here because these are not locking tuners. Usually the strings are locked with a locking nut. This is the nut. And you have 3 metal blocks that kind of push on the strings to clamp them down. And that's how a Floyd works. But let's look at it in more detail. And we're actually calling it Floyd because we're looking at a Floyd, which is this contraption here. Let's go to the Floyd cam. Floyd Rose Special. So the strings don't go through the guitar anymore. You actually cut the ball end off. You take an Allen wrench, open this up, and that opens up this hole right here. Okay? You put the string in it, only a little bit, 3-4 millimeters, and then you tighten this back up. Okay? So the string is then firmly attached to this room doohickey. Okay? This whole thing can go back and forth if you loosen this screw, which is important for intonation, you know, to make sure your 12th fret sounds exactly as your 0th fret. So you move this back and forth. That's very important. The problem is on this design, this string goes right through this, right on top of this. So if you actually want to loosen this screw, you are shit out of luck because you have to, I don't know, loosen the string completely, move it out of the way, because remember, the string is right there, right? So loosen it, then move it back and forth. How are you going to do this? How are you going to set up intonation if the string doesn't have tension on it? If it has tension on it, how the fuck are you going to do? I don't even know how to do this. If it has tension on it, you actually can't move this back and forth. So that's dumb. Okay, so this screw, which loosened this block that keeps the string tight, like a tiger, goes through the back here, okay? And underneath, there is this insane piece of metal that pushes it up. Okay, so this whole thing here can actually, as you can see, flex. Why? Well, because that is for fine tuning. Because remember, you can't use your tuners anymore because we have a locking nut. So this screw pushes onto, I mean, if it, oh my God, these threads are shit. Okay, so it pushes this down, which means your pitch goes up. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit. It's called a fine tuner. And it goes all the way down. You can see it slowly goes down. So the problem is, these are fine tuners. So, which means you get your string in basic tuning, and then you only have that much range. And you all know this. Oh, the D string, up, 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 play, 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 play. Oh, up, 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 play, 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 up, 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 play, 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 up, 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 play, 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 up, up, up. Ah, there's no more up. Because I'm literally, it's usually the fucking D string. You're all the way up here. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? You can't go to fucking 11 because you're already at 11. That's it. You can't go any higher. Then you have to open your nut. Get this puppy down again into middle position. So you have up and down. Tune it up here. Close it up. Now, Theodore system, the Tremoline Wiggle one. I'm not even calling it its actual name. It's the Wiggle fucking one. Where's the box? There's the box. Up. Ah, right here. See? It's the Tremoline Wiggle one, come to me for names. His system has some of those problems. It's also a range of fine tuning. And when you're out of that range, you actually have to kind of get it in the middle position to have the range again and then open it up. There's no way around that. Playing style. Okay, let's look at how high this is. So you got the hand right here. And what's this? You've got a mountain of fine tuners. Now, that is because these silver things are poking through and the fine tuners are pushing from above. These silver things are used to do the fine tuning. This is going to be a long video, but I'm thinking, why not just make it about Floyds in general? For those of you who don't know. But also, they're the things pushing the string in. So they've got a double funzione. Now, Ibanez was really cool, and they came up with the low pro edge. Not the pro edge, but the low pro edge. And that is, guess what? It's a tiny bit lower. It's a little bit lower. And why is that? Well, let's look at it. So there's an Allen screw clicking the string in, but there's no more screw in the back. So pretty much this Allen screw clicks the string in, then there's a piece of metal going to the back, which can be lower, and this little metal piece is still being suspended by a spring. And these fine tuners are so much better than on the Floyd. Holy crap. Yeah, much better threads. Oh, yes. So this is a much better system, less sharp edges, and you can definitely rest your hand on it better. And that's the Ibanez Low Pro Edge. Interestingly, that was the thing for some years. It was on the JS1000 Satriani. I've got one. It was on all the gems. And now, Satch and Steve are playing the high one again. Don't know why. I would like to know why, but I don't know. Obviously, we can take a quick look at simpler systems. So we got something that's on a cheap-ass Ibanez, GRX or whatever, GRG. These screws pull these things back and forth with springs. That's for intonation. That's all you can do. Why? Well, because it's not a Floyd system, it's not a locking system, it's a standard two-blade trem. Nothing else you can really do. No fine tuners because you're not locking them at the nut. This is a standard, not vintage Fender system, but a two-blade Fender system. Please notice the massive trem block. So having a big piece of metal there is kind of cool for sustain and tone and attack and all that other stuff, which is why, well, that's the Floyd. That's a kind of whiny little, whiny little bitch-ass piece of metal. And then I don't know what kind of industrial nightmare this is. I guess it's a piece of metal, but you can see that that's not made from a solid steel block, but that's cast, as is this. This is all die cast, which I think is the word for you make a mold and you put metal in it, instead of taking metal and cutting things out, which is, of course, good, but costs money. Now, Ibanez nailed it with their trem arm, because if you look at the trem arm, no threads, and it's got these exchangeable plastic things. And if you shove that in here, that's actually, is that gonna fit? I don't know. Probably not made for it. It's not, this is a lefty tremolo and that's not a lefty trem arm. That's why. But the point is, these things go in, they stick in there. You can wiggle them around as many times as you want. They won't tighten anymore. Ibanez really nailed it with that system. Now on the Ibanez AZs, you have a sticky arm, but still a screw. Why go backwards, Ibanez? It makes no fucking sense. So much for the status quo. Now let's look at why the Tremoline is cool. Well, first of all, that makes sense, right? It's an F flat. F. It's a double F. Fucking flat. That's what it is. Look at how flat this is. Yes, this is a Floyd replacement. And can you see any whoop? Where are the fine tuners? Where's any of it? Well, I'm going to tell you now that this has the full functionality, everything that you've just seen on this fucking monstrosity, with all of its complexity, in a only slightly bigger than traditional trem, really only slightly bigger than traditional tremolo, classic tremolo, Fender trem package. So let me try to explain it. I've just learned about this. First of all, look at this beautiful block. Of course, a thing to hold the strings down. Actually, if you needed to extend that, they have plates so you can actually make this higher. So if you needed that a little bit higher or actually lower to be better for your guitar because your guitar is thicker, you can do that. This is not die cast or cast in any way. It's actually taking a piece of steel and forming it that way, which costs a shit ton of money. So, 2 blades right here. Let's start with the trem arm. That was actually very impressive. It is threaded, and I was like, oh no, why the fuck are you threading it? Well, they are threading it, but from right here, it's already ultra stable because you got the plastic shaft there, and also that spring from the ballpoint pen that Fender is forgetting is already in here, which means, and apparently you can also adjust it somehow in its tightness. Here is a screw for tightness. So you put this in as far as you want. And then it's absolutely solid. There is no wiggle at all. Nice. So let's start with intonation. There's massive reflectivity. Okay. So remember these intonation screws that you can't get to because the string actually goes right above it? Well, look what Mr. Theodore did. Let's look at it from above. So the string goes right here, right? And it actually goes past it. So with the strings in their grooves, you can actually use an Allen key. Isn't that cool? Now, in order to push these things back and forth, it comes with this nifty tool. So what is that doing? First of all, we're going to open this. That is the wrong one. So let's say I open this. Okay, now I could move this thing back and forth, right? Back, whatever. So if I have the string in there, the string will pull it in this direction. Then I actually take this in one of these tiny little threaded holes. This is fucking amazing engineering, I gotta say. Okay? And that will actually push against this, which we'll get to later. And now, very, 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 very gently, see what I'm doing? I can move the intonation backwards. If I go in the opposite direction, right now, nothing's going to happen, but remember the string is actually at tension and it will move it forwards. So by going backwards and forwards on this, I can very precisely intonate it. So when you have the right intonation, lock it. Remember the string goes past it. Lock that shit. Take it out. Now that is ingenious. And why hasn't anyone thought of it? Okay. The string clampiness right here. I mean, first of all, they are so pretty just lined up. Well, just like on the others in the back, remember I had these massive doohickeys here to clamp the string down. Here, oh, too big. Much more elegant. Open this shit up. That goes all the way through here. And I can put my string right in there. Put the string in. Close it up. And the string is taut like a Teuge. At the bottom of this, the string actually can't go out or whatever because there's a metal thing holding it back. So this right here, which is kind of disappearing, is replacing this big ass silver thing here. This thing is brilliant because you can adjust it with the string in position. Brings us to, where are these springy kind of metal things for fine tuning? well, you can't see them, right? You can't really see them anywhere. See how this thing goes up? See how I push it down and floop? The springs are fucking built in. They are literally between these two pieces. There's a little bit of a spring, which is enough. You don't need this massive Hoover Dam of a metal piece. They're right between these two pieces. So what you do is put the string on, all good. And can you see what's happening here? This thing that I'm tuning right now is actually your fine tuner. So this thing, which is flat with everything, is equivalent to these thumb screws. So it's all right there. And there are a couple of questions you're going to have, and we will talk about those. One of the questions is, and it's a legitimate one, well, but Henning, how am I going to just quickly reach and fine-tune that if they're not protruding, coming out from, the actual trem? You can't. Not with your finger. Well, you could, but with your nail. So if you actually look at it, you can see that there are grooves in it. And you can actually get in there with your fingernail. Don't worry, it's not hard to turn. And you could tune it. That works and it doesn't. It does work, but realistically, remember it is spring-loaded. When you're pushing down on it, you're detuning the string. So not the greatest idea. Now, Theodore and his team, which is him and his son and the cat, I think. There might be a mom. I don't know. We don't know each other that well. Let's just say, and his team, say, well, but you could also do it with a pick. Ha ha ha, Bertel, but can you? Of course, I'm the ass, as always, that takes the biggest fucking pick that's around, which is mean. But you might play a stubby, you might play a, I don't know what, and try to, like a Neanderthal that I am. And can you? Yes. But to get some grip, you have to push harder. When you push harder, you detune the string. So let's look at here. So can I tune this with my pick? And also show it in the camera? Yes, you can. But to really get grip, you have to put some force into it. If you're playing any regular pick, like normal people, don't even use this side, and ruin your pick. Use the side. Look at this. That's how you tune it. And it actually has a lot more fine tuning than a normal Floyd. So you have super, super tight control. So be prepared to just dial in a little bit more than usual. Absolutely, that works and you don't have to push hard. Or remember this tool for the intonation in the back? I mean, how fucking amazing is that? And this is great. Look at what he's got on the other side. Right there. Now, of course, that's not the perfect solution. As I mentioned to him, that's like a pick. I'm going to lose the shit out of that. What he has to offer is 10 packs of these. 10 packs for $20 or whatever. So that in every pair of pants, I have one in every gig bag, and on my desk, and in the studio, and in the practice room, everywhere. Because realistically, that's a better way to do it. However, standard Floyd, you reach over and you do this and you're done. That is one of the downsides, I think, with the system. It's not as fast. It's not as fast? What's as fast? That's how I say that. It's not as fast. As the day's been too long. As fast. It's not as fast. Now I have it. Because you're not just doing this, which you would do blinded and intuitively. You will do this. The difference is seconds, but maybe those seconds count. Or you have the tool in your pocket, which is the best way to do it. And then pocket. Done. Okay? Absolutely works. It's probably the best way to do it. Just be prepared. A few extra seconds to fine-tune the guitar. The benefit is, of course, look at the system. It looks slightly bigger than a normal trem, but this is a fully functioning Floyd replacement on a Strat. Now, obviously, you don't have to have the locking nut. Some of you guys might want this and think it's the coolest thing in the world, but you really don't want the locking nut. Well, if you have locking tuners and you're going to treat this like a normal trem and not like freaking Steve Vai, well then, go for it. Do it. Don't have the locking nut. Have a tusk nut from Graphtec, lubricated. Everyone needs a lubricated nut. And have some nice locking tuners staggered, all good. Lubricate everything with Big Ben's nut sauce, and you should be good to go. Just don't do dive bombs. One of the little issues I see is that even on a standard Strat like this is, from the Fender people, you cannot just put this on as a retrofit replacement without doing woodwork, which is an issue, of course, with working it back to the old system. You're going to have a hole in it. For resaleability, you can tell people all day long that you put, a 3, maybe 400 euro system in there, but they're going to go like, yeah, but it's not original. I'm not paying you the money. Whiny little bitch, man. You know how it is. Resale value might go down. It's not original. Your face isn't original. Okay. So yeah, to make it work in this, there had to be some woodworking done. It is minimal, but a luthier should probably do it. So if you look at it, it's actually underfräst, milled. And I can do full bend ups on this guitar. I mean, I can't because I suck at playing, but you can. And he really likes the 2 springs. I really wish there were 3 because I'll show you some of the stuff that I would want to do would require 3, but you can put 20 on there, whatever. You know those springs you got in your garage door? Put them on there. Totally safe. I'm going to get sued. So this thing is milled, solid stainless steel. This thing is, everything on it is not die cast. It's not poured into, a silicone mold in the kitchen. It is literally made from a steel and on a lathe and CAT and CNC and all those words that I don't know because I'm a freaking guitar player. This room's dirty. There's a bottle over there. Somebody threw that. So, he doesn't like to put plates on there, but of course he could if you wanted that. So on a standard, traditional, classic guitar, you would have to make the hole bigger. The other problem, GRX, I think, and he's a freaking lefty, so I don't know. I don't even know how to hold this. He actually replaced this without any extra work, and he is harder to see. But obviously, where those, this is what it's supposed to look like. And we've got all the shit in the back, right? But he doesn't have all that shit in the back, so the back's empty. So if you're retrofitting an already Floyd-equipped guitar, you have no shit here. Phil X would put a little toy in there, be done with it. You might put a pick holder in there, have 10 picks. LEDs, whatever. But obviously, if this isn't a GRX, but maybe a guitar you cherish and you really like the look of, all of a sudden the look is different. So if you can see, this is a really nice, about 500-600 euro Schecter that had a Floyd, and now it's got nothing. And I know it shouldn't be a big issue, but I know you guys. You are completely traditional bastards who can't accept anything else. And this guy, with amazing, brilliant engineering, made a better, smaller system. But my point was, why put on a smaller system if I already have the big-ass hole? In this case, it's kind of even a negative because I'm not filling that hole. You gotta fill the hole. So what I suggested, and please comment below if that is something that might make this attractive to you, if they made little metal plates to screw under, maybe even with a magnet, I don't know. Just a little metal plate to make this, to fill the hole, because you don't want to see the wood underneath, and it would look more traditional. And on that metal plate, could be aluminum, whatever, you could actually have maybe your band logo engraved, your name engraved, pick the color for the metal plate, or have 6 lines to actually make it look like a traditional Floyd. You would still have the benefits of the completely flat top and all the benefits of the Tremoline. Mario, are you in the middle of my video about an amazing tremolo system? Metal plate to fill that, but of course, I mean, there's still a benefit in replacing your old Floyd with this, even though you're not saving the space because you already have the hole, but all the really cool stuff and the completely flat-toppedness and the very, very smooth-acting, non-wiggle wiggle stick on the Wiggle 1 by Tremoline. So comment whether or not you would like a metal plate to fill your hole. Now, obviously, if you're getting, and this is where it gets interesting, if you're getting a guitar built by your favorite guitar builder, call them up and say, I want a Tremoline Wiggle 1. Because FG36 Permanente, Kaiser Permanente, Performanente, mega thing, awesome. Trem, that's what it's called. I'll get up there and I'll get beaten up by a very nice man. But that's my job. What was I going to say? Talk to your luthier and say, look, there's a better system and it is undoubtedly better, except for maybe another 1 or 2 seconds for tuning. I want that in my guitar. Well, then he doesn't have to drill a bigger hole into your Fender. You don't have to have a hole that was there before but is now only half filled, because he's building your guitar made for the Wiggle 1. And then it looks exactly like that Strat, but it doesn't lose resale value because it's a guitar built for you. And I think that's really where the strength is. Guitar made around that system. Remember when the Floyd came out? Big guitars were built around that system. So I think we should move on and have better systems. And now we've got someone that designed a better system, just like the brilliant Trevor Wilkinson designed a better system, and now it's on all the guitars. And I think when it comes to Floyd, Trevor has a really cool thing where it looks like a traditional retrofit system, but they're actually locking. But in terms of fine tuning and all that shit, that's the shit. Okay, so when you have a guitar built for you, maybe request the Wiggle 1 from the Tremoline people. Couple of words about this. I know this is a ridiculously long video, but it became about Floyds and all that stuff. So in the box, there's screws to put up paintings on the walls, I guess, and a string Seitenniederhalter, string retainers, 3 extra springs, which he should think about using. Massively cool stainless steel post replacements right there. Of course, you don't necessarily need to take this out of your guitar. You can thread this in. You could use your original one, but they come with it and they're very good. There is, of course, the thing that goes in the back, and that's not just a little piece of weak metal. That's a serious piece of gear right there, including a soldered on thing for the something about grounding wire right there. He thinks of everything. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could put 5 springs on there. He doesn't, but you could. The locking nut. Now, you could, by accident, and you can see these have little domes, right? You could, when you put them on, accidentally put them on the wrong way. So it's the dome sideways. However, for some reason, that doesn't fit here because the hole isn't perfectly in the middle, which is brilliant because you can't do it the wrong way. So it's pretty much idiot-proof. In addition to that, let me do this. It really feels like a high-end piece of gear. I can't say that in any other way. This is radiused. Now, don't ask me what radius and what if my guitar has a different radius. Stop being, total guitar nerds. It's radiused. That's cool. Shut your trap about it and buy it. Something like that. Radius thing. What do I know? I'll just play them. So, that all comes in the box for the ridiculous price of $2.99 when you buy it direct. Right now, in the next 5 minutes, with my code. I have no code. I'm sorry, it's Sunday, right now only. You also get Henning's donut shirt. No, you do not. That's an expensive shirt. That leaves me to play it a bit. I mean, you heard it in the beginning, amazingly played. It doesn't make a sound, except that it's got nice attack and all that, like a Floyd, because it's, all the stainless steely daniness. So let's look at tune skis. We have a tuner camera. It's dolphin safe tuner. I'm funny. Not. So, okay, look what I did. I immediately grabbed this. Where's the other thing? Did that? See, it already happened. This is where there should be 5 in the box right away. Okay, found it. The little fine tuner thing. So let's try all things. So let's see. We got an E. That should be slightly higher. So let's try my finger. To really get grip, I had to push a little bit, and it detuned a little bit too much. That needs to go a little bit lower. So with an Allen wrench. Perfect. That's a killer tool. Costs nothing. You have 17 of them already. On stage, again, it's the extra second. That's the pros and cons. It's super fucking flat. What are you gonna do? This is the tuning that it has after me abusing it in the beginning. Wow. And now the normal pick. Okay, normal pick works extremely well. Don't push too hard. Could be almost as quick as thumb screw if you're playing a pick that's thin enough. It's just the caveat, as they say. Extremely smooth. So with the 2 springs in the back and 9s on it, I feel it's giving me a little bit too much leeway. So for my bends, I have to bend a little bit further than I'm used to. But that's really A, getting used to it, and B, put more springs in it. So of course, the other negative side of a Floyd, and this is you bend one string, all the strings go down. So with the 2, it just really wants to go down. That's why I'm repeating this 17 million times. Put in 3. If it's a problem for you, for these bends, you would have to bend that string with it, but a little bit too far for me. But that's a matter of setup and spring count. test the shit. Hey, Leslie, is Theodore standing up there like this, being very, very, very afraid that the guitar doesn't perform as expected? Or is he relaxed?
Relaxed.
Relaxed. Oh, okay. Good, good. This is fucking abuse no guitar should undergo. Steve Vai does shit like this, but I mean, and then of course we can do. Enough abuse. My prediction is no, it's not going to be perfectly in tune, but you can probably finish the song. The thing is, when Steve Vai does that after the song, you know what happens? Hey, Thomas Nordegg, bam, take the guitar. He will give that guitar away when he does crazy shit like this, because even his amazing PR/gem will not survive those kind of treatments for more than one song. But that one song, it needs to survive. So let's see. I think I can finish the song. Let's look at the tuning. I'm good with that. Okay, I'm impressed. I gotta say, okay? Because that's crazy shit. So, we want to see your comments because this is a relatively new product. They need your feedback. Would you mod your traditional trem guitar, hollow it out, but then it really can only have the wiggle one in it? Again, you don't have to have the locking nut. Just make sure you got locking tuner and everything nicely lubricated, and don't do crazy shit. Or would you be okay with having a hole where your Floyd was, but you have a really, really crazy cool wiggle one in it? Something FT36 perforated something? Or would you just say, this is so cool, for my next guitar, I'll have my luthier put that in? Now I'm going to look at my cheat sheet and see if I forgot anything. I'm pretty sure, without ever looking at my cheat sheet, I nailed it. Let's see. Flat top design, Floyd Rose replacement, stainless steel, it's got springs, of course. Locking like a Floyd, yes. Sunk fine tuning screws, yes. String saver, oh yeah, the where the strings are, it's really nice and flat and they don't break as much. Damn it. Intonation screw is offset. I already said that. Tremolo arm is tight. I said that. Stainless steel sustain block, said that. Spring locking system, said that. Solid spring clamp, said that. Locking nut is idiot proof in radius. I said everything. I don't need my cheat sheet. I'm professional. I'm going to go and wiggle a bit while you look at annals at the end, after which you will go on their website, find out more, comment on this video because they need your feedback about the system, which I think, as I said before, at the moment, direct sales around 300. Then, of course, depends on the country, shipping, I don't know. Look on the website. And here is some more wiggles.